What happens in Georgia gets revealed one by one as the facts are unsealed. From the pit comes what they don't want you to see. When the daily nugget of truth is dropped with your host, BKP. They call you with a smile, invest for a short while. The pitch is smooth as silk, they say, when they sell you the 18% payday. They tell you it's not yet your time, but with that money you'll climb the political vine. And before you know it, you're drinking mimosas with the bunch, returning favors over a Frost Sunday brunch. The first card's flipped, she's real shady. BKP, tell us about Frosty Katie. The next card's flipped, the loans he grants. BKP, tell us about Frosty Baby Brant. The next card's flipped, brings more drama. BKP, tell us about Frosty Mama. The last card's flipped, he'll pay the cost. BKP, tell us all about Papa Frost.
Yes, folks, that was the only way I could start the program today. We had to bring back a fan favorite, the Albino RINO. Yes, the Albino RINO. Let me see here. Let's go with that. And let's go with that. I'm your host, BKP, and you're watching BKP Politics, a little nugget of truth here on voiceofruralamerica.com. Thank you very much. Don't forget our Substack, Voice of Rural America, Vora, V-O-R-A, at BKP Politics, Voice of Rural America, Rumble, Voice of Rural America, Facebook, Voice of Rural America, YouTube, and Voice of Rural America on X. Now, before we get the show started, yesterday I got several messages on our Substack yesterday and our video. And let me say this, if you're new to the program, if you've been around for quite some time, I support President Trump. I definitely do not sit here thinking, wow, what if Kamala Harris would have been elected president of the United States? Or what if, let's just go with this, they would have altered the actual outcome that we're all waiting for in 2020 to see, and Kamala Harris was put into office much like the auto pen. So yes, I support my president of the United States, but I am not brainwashed. I'll just say it that strong. Okay, I'm not brainwashed. I do not have selective acceptance. Okay, if it's wrong, it's wrong. I don't go around and say, okay, I will give me a little of this and a little over here and hold this. And yes, I will be fine with this right here. No. That's just not me. It's not going to happen. I'm going to ask questions. And when I see something like this, I'm going to say, wait a minute. Why are all the negotiations that are being done in the Middle East, while the false flags are being flown here at home, how in the world did Steve Witkoff, there with Benjamin Netanyahu, and how in the world did Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner amass so much power in the Middle East and around the world as our negotiators, as you and I, our front man is Marco Rubio. Now, see, let me give you an example there. I didn't attack my Jewish friends. I did not. Didn't do it. I didn't attack anyone, but I will ask those kind of questions. So I'm not brainwashed. I do not suffer from selective acceptance. I don't do that. And last, let me just go ahead and cross that line now. Let's do it now, right now, okay? I do not subscribe to what I call, I am a Christian. I'm a Christian. Now, I do not subscribe to what I call, all right, Republican Party Christianity cult. I'm not a part of the Republican Party Christianity cult. I'm not, okay? I am a Republican. I would like to restore our republic for which it stands. I would like to restore my Republican Party, but I do not participate in their brand of Republican Party Christianity cult. Just say that. And it's so strong in Georgia, you would not believe it. And if you're not in, you're not in. I mean, I just have to tell you, don't go thinking you're going to get on the prayer list. All right, so enough of that before I get in trouble. So, but I got messages yesterday saying, hey, we're tired of you attacking President Trump. Okay, all right. We don't like that. Okay. I'm going to bring you what's happening. Most of my work here, no matter what you may think, is what I call time capsule. Meaning, I look at what's coming down the road in politics. I study politics. So, you're not going to like some of the things I say. But then again, thank you for the messages. I love them. Send them no matter what. And the best part of this program, other than myself, that is, but the best part of this program, you're welcome. You're welcome to be here. And you do not have to agree. I have Democrats. I have a lot of people that watch the broadcast. And they know they're welcome. And then now I get the attacks. If you go and send me constructive criticism where we can have a conversation, I thrive off that. I think that's great. But when you call me fat and call me old and you old fat blah 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 whatever, I get it. All right, I don't have time for that. You can call me names. You can attack me, right? Old man. I get called an old man. You angry old man. Blah blah. Okay. Well, let's get into the program. Enough of that already. So we started out, President Trump, let's go with a couple things here. President Trump is in Rome, Georgia today. We'll talk about the 14th district. And that's where many of you got upset with me yesterday because I said the 14th district is a bullseye. And I know of what I speak of. Was that correct? I don't know. But 14th district is a bullseye, period. Now, will candidate, lieutenant governor, Republican candidate for governor of Georgia, Burt Jones, endorsed by President Trump be there today? Yes. Will he go through, get all the pictures he can? Because President Trump apparently is going to go to a business. I guarantee the lieutenant governor and his short little weaselly friend Greg Dolezal will be with him. I guarantee the little weasel he'll be right there shaking hands. Greg Dolezal, the weasel, will be getting handshake with the president, right? Just saying. Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones, who is now what Rick Jackson is calling third place Jones, that's what the Rick Jackson campaign is calling him. He'll be over there trying to salvage his campaign. They don't want you to know that it's right here, flatlined. bringing in the paddles. They don't want to talk like that. President Trump has to bring Burt Jones back to life today over there. They're going to go through a factory, a steel factory. Then there's a select crowd that's getting in the steel factory, and President Trump will make comments today. We will see who all will be there and show up, trying to get a picture with President Trump today in the 14th District. He also will be with Clay Fuller. That's the candidate he endorsed in the 14th District to replace Marjorie Taylor Greene. So, visit a business. He's doing a podcast. We don't know who that's with. And then they're going to be visiting a steel company. So, President Trump is in place. I'm going to prove to you today that the 14th District is a bullseye. A bullseye. For Burt Jones, for Georgia, the demagnification, the midterms, Texas even. We'll get into that a little later. All right? Let me take these off. So, there's a couple things I want to show you. Because this goes right in line with when you tell me, when you get upset and you think, how do I put this? Don't forget this right here, all right? There was a deal made in Georgia. There was a deal made in Georgia, in Valdosta, Georgia, during the hurricane. There was a deal between Brian Kemp and Donald Trump. Remember, Donald Trump came into Georgia before the election, gave a rip-roaring, ripped Brian Kemp, the governor of Georgia, up one side and down the other. Kemp is smoking. Marty Kemp is smoking. The girls aren't happy. It was rough. So what we hear is Vice President J.D. Vance brokered the deal, the peace deal, between Brian Kemp, the governor of Georgia, and Donald Trump. That's what we hear. Now, I don't know this. In the world of politics, everything goes around and around. I don't know this. Did J.D. Vance... Now, I know you got Marco Rubio out there on your brain. Did J.D. Vance promise Brian Kemp a spot on the ticket? I don't know. In 2028, I don't know. All right? I don't know if you can see this at home, but this one here, if you can see it, Brian Kemp is cringing like, oh, I had to do this. I agreed to it, shaking hands. But what I'm getting at here is never forget there was a deal made in Valdosta. Don't forget that. Every time you're wondering about Fulton County, we'll get into that in a minute, all the things going on there with election integrity, the corruption in Fulton County, the corruption with the election, the corruption in 2020. Brad Raffensperger, Secretary of State. The people who are sitting on pins and needles wanting Brad Raffensperger, especially those GRA members that are wanting, and I'll tell you why. That wasn't an attack. Easy. But that are sitting on pins and needles wanting Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger endorsed, waiting on pins and needles wanting Brad Raffensperger to be told he cannot run as a Republican for governor in Georgia. That being said, I always want you to remember, every single thing you see politically in Georgia, there was a deal. Now, there's something else I want you to remind you of. There was another deal that took place. Okay? And in the morning, I watch, and a lot of people get angry with me, I watch Muskrat, Minka, and Joe, okay? Minka Brzezinski and Joe, what's his name? Scarborough, every morning on what is now MS Now, not MSNBC, MS Now. Okay? And the other thing I want you to remember as you watch this show, and I study politics, there's a reason why you don't see Truth Social posts. Go back and see the last time, I want to ask you, do your research, the last time Donald Trump, President Trump, attacked Joe Scarborough and Minka Brzezinski. Called them Psycho Joe, crazy. Now, I watch every morning because what you say out there is, why do you do that? Well, I want to keep up with what we call the other side, the enemy, the communist, whatever you want to call them. Traitors, whatever. But I want to keep up with it because they are part of the show. Yes, it's a show, folks. It's a show. And they're part of it. And they have to play their role. See, everybody has to get all worked up. Everybody has to be split. Everybody has to be all worked up. Now, if you think they're irrelevant, okay, then ask Mike Johnson, ask Republicans, ask others why they will go on this program. But they do. Now, there's a reason I show you this, because they have a narrative and they have water to carry. And I know you don't like it. I mean, I know. Don't forget that right after the election, Joe and Minka, this is Vanity Fair. Why did Joe and Minka really visit Mar-a-Lago? Right? And what does their meeting suggest about Donald Trump's influence on the media industry? Now, this is November, right? This is November of 2024. Right after the election, Joe and Minka went to Mar-a-Lago, right? Here we go. This is the New York Times. Morning Joe stars, New York Times, reveal a Mar-a-Lago reunion with Trump. The MSNBC host, Minka Brzezinski, and Joe Scarborough met with Donald Trump last week in Florida in an effort to restart communications. And this is November, when was this exactly? 18th of 2024. So what I want you to remember, and I say this politely, don't forget deals were made. This was a deal. Some kind of deal was made here. Because Joe and Minka, they split this off. They spun this off from NBC. All right? Joe and Minka come on every morning. Ali Vitale comes on at 5 a.m. They come on at 6. They do 3 hours. And all they do is attack Donald Trump. You don't hear very much from the podium in the press room about them. You don't see Truth Socials calling him Psycho Joe. You don't. Because there was a deal made. I say this nicely. This is not attacking our President of the United States. There's a deep state. There's a deep state. A deal was made, right? And don't forget they're playing their part. And it's important. It's important. Now, they will not cover, let me put this up. They will not cover, none of them, an illegal in this country in any way, shape, or form, in any negative way, in any way, shape, or form, an illegal in this country that has killed an American citizen will not get covered. But 24/7 coverage on the lady that got killed, and Alex Petty, is that his name, that got killed in Minnesota, 24/7 coverage. But when it comes to an illegal killing an American citizen, they won't cover it. But they keep that narrative moving on the other side to keep the eyeballs of the people that don't pay attention daily like you and I. So, all right, there you go. So, we're going to get into that in a minute on the 14th District. Rick Jackson, the only thing I want to say here this morning on the governor's race is I do want to say this. The best spot for Rick Jackson today is to not be endorsed by Donald J. Trump. Now, there's two sides to this. So here is Rick Jackson. Right here. And Burt Jones. And the best spot Rick Jackson has today is not in Rome. I don't think he will be there. I do not know. But also not being endorsed by Donald Trump. Because I don't know really what Burt Jones thought or is thinking. But it may have been a sleepless night. He may have been on the phone with some staff at the White House surrounding Donald Trump. There may have been a call, hey, can we get Trump not to say certain things? Right? Because Burt Jones, the candidate endorsed by Trump, has to live with whatever President Trump says today. I'm not attacking President Trump, but if President Trump comes to Georgia and just blasts Marjorie Taylor Greene, blast Fulton County, blast the corruption in the elections, I'm okay. All right, I get it. But you know it's true. Yes. But if Burt Jones comes out of this today with the AJC, every TV camera, every reporter following him, wanting to know if he supports what Donald Trump said here, what Donald Trump said here. Now, I don't have a big problem at all. I mean, I really don't, or I'd bring it up with what Donald Trump said about Atlanta yesterday at the White House. But it's already running all across the state of Georgia, what Donald Trump said at the White House yesterday. Look it up about Atlanta. All right. To where Jason Estevez, a candidate, Democrat candidate for governor, said, keep Atlanta out of your mouth, right? So, I will tell you this. Burt Jones is the one today that I'm going to say it this way, has to hope, right, that Donald Trump doesn't have to say something that he has to defend, period. Now, I don't know. I thought about this, and I thought, you know what, this is, I don't know if I should run this. I'm serious. I was thinking, like, maybe I shouldn't run this. And I said, no, I'm going to do it, because here's the thing. Rick Jackson's staff, this is just going to show you. I mean, Rick Jackson, Republican candidate for governor here in Georgia, his staff is just relentless on Burt Jones. Now, there was a poll yesterday that put Rick Jackson at 22, right? And it put Brad Raffensperger like at 16 and Burt Jones at 12 in third place. So the Jackson campaign released this video yesterday. It's a little tough, but they got the money. And every time you turn on the TV, I'm going to show you this video.
Third place, Jones, always one step behind. Too busy counting yesterday. Notice just grow.
My man got a third place ribbon. I don't know if that's right. I don't know, man. I mean, I'm serious. I'm like, ooh, man, that was a little cold, right? Now, another one yesterday. He released another one. Now, no matter what you say, I want to be very clear. I shook hands with this man for 8 seconds. Count out 8 seconds. Hey, Mr. Jackson, good to meet you here today. And that was it. All right. I have a contact, so if I want to ask the campaign a question, which I did the other day, and get a response from the campaign, Burt Jones's campaign has not reached out to me at all for any reason whatsoever. And this guy is releasing these things on TV so fast, it's almost impossible to keep up with them. In fact, on a daily basis, I'm getting a phone call from someone saying, hey, did you see his recent ad? Which one? So I'm going to play one more for you here.
I grew up in the projects, then foster homes. I know hunger. I know dodging the rent collector. I know inflation and high prices hit working people the hardest. For politicians, those are just talking points. To me, they were life and death. I will cut your income taxes in half and freeze our insane property taxes. I know what it's like. I've got this. I'm Rick Jackson. I grew up in the project.
Now, I study subliminal messaging. I study advertising. I study subliminal messaging. I study what they want you to hear, the tone in the commercial, the background music, what it's trying to get you to feel, see, and register. I have told candidate after candidate after candidate, stop sending me your flyers. You're gonna do this, and you're gonna do this, and you're gonna do this. Stop it. I said to a candidate one day, I said, you know what? I said, go to the grocery store. Let in the background of one of your ads, put a mother, pushing a shopping cart down the aisle of a grocery store in the background. I've told candidate after, do that. Don't say affordability. If I get elected, I'm going to make things affordable again. Well, okay, I don't know what you picked up, but what he did is he said, I've been there. He didn't say this, my words, but he almost did the Bill Clinton, I feel your pain. All right? So then what does he have? He has the family at the kitchen with grocery bags getting things out, saying he's been there. I got this. That's all I'm telling you. I have a candidate that sent me a flyer, and I'm going to do this. I got to get out. We got to get to the 14th district, and we got to get to the Albino RINO, because that's going to be a really deep one today. No. Wait a minute. Excuse me. I got a text message here. Let me do this. I do have to answer this text. No. No. And I mean hell no. All right, I got to tell you. Want to know if I'm in Rome, Georgia today? No, I'm not fighting all that. All right, so I got a flyer from a candidate, and we'll talk about it tomorrow. This is the flyer. Lower taxes, eliminate the income tax, cap property tax, return $2,000 surplus to families. Then I got another one. Eliminate income tax, reform property tax, slash wasteful spending. The state budget in Georgia just went up 12.5%. Make education a priority. Support educators. So it's like they went down. All right, we like teachers. We like law enforcement. Quit sending me those. Just stop sending those, okay? So anyhow, this is the over in Dalton today, over in Rome, Georgia. This is Burt Jones and his running mate. He thinks he's Batman because Burt Jones is like, he has a larger structure. And there's Robin, the little small guy, Greg Dolezal. Does he run around like Robin to Burt all the time? Gee Willikers, Batman. Look at this crowd. I don't know. I don't know if he does that, but that's Greg the Weasel, and he will be the puppy dog. If you're watching today, he will be the puppy dog, sniffing on Burt Jones' $600 jeans. I said that. I'm sorry. Forgive me. I don't like the way you talked about Burt. Forgive me. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I apologize for nothing. Anyhow, so he'll be sniffing around behind Burt Jones as they'll be touring. Anyhow, that's Burt Jones and his running mate there, Lieutenant Governor Robin Greg the Weasel Dolezal. Gee Willikers, Batman. All right, so I got to quit that. I'm a kid from the 70s, late 60s, early 70s. Now, so that is what's going on, governor's race right now. But I want to move to right here. All right, let's switch gears because this is going to take some time. I know you have been waiting on this for quite some time. I have to focus on it. Let's just throw this in the mix. How about this really quick? How come, well, CNN still refers to him as Prince Philip, but he's how come someone can get arrested over there? This guy's been kicked out of the castle, stripped of all of his titles, turned in all of his company credit cards, doesn't have a footman, doesn't have a chauffeur. And this morning he gets picked up and sent to jail. Oh, he's former prince. Former. Yeah, they got a former. Oh, he is formerly known as Prince. I have material today. Formerly known as Prince Andrew. How come he gets arrested? Just saying. Just saying. Now, you have been waiting, and let's get here because this is going to be a big story that I want to share and I want to talk about. And it's just that. The albino rhino. So if you're new to the program, this is Brant Frost V. Okay? This is Brant Frost V. And things escalated yesterday in the $140 million First Liberty building and loan Ponzi scheme. And things have come full circle. When this broke, Brant Frost IV, the patriarch of the family, and the First Liberty building and loan crashed, right? And it was discovered that it was a $140 million Ponzi scheme, and senior citizens had been preyed on and lost millions and hundreds of thousands of dollars trusting and praying with these people. Yeah, seriously. that they're so tied to the Republican Party in Georgia that I said then, and we have the tape, we begged, when I say we, there's many of you out there and you know who you are. We begged the Georgia Republican Party. We begged the 3rd District. We begged lawmakers. I personally asked Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones, I did, hey, maybe you need to get in touch with your friend. I'm not joking. And I said it this way, okay? I know what's going to happen. It always does, but let me see if I can get to it. Where's it at? What number is it? I have it here somewhere. Let's go back to right there. That's Burt Jones, Lieutenant Governor, Georgia Republican Party, with his friend, his colleague, his former colleague in the Georgia State Senate, right? And his endorsed chairman of the Georgia GOP, Josh McCoon. And I asked Burt Jones, Lieutenant Governor of Georgia, I said, please call your friend, Josh McCoon, and tell him, get everything, get every memory, anything that has to do with the Frost family away from Georgia Republican politics as fast as you can. Right? Basically, some are going to say, well, the albino rhino, that'd be Brant Frost V. The albino rhino resigned, but basically he still has his little tentacles somewhere around that 3rd District. But we'll go on with that. So, when this hit, we begged the Georgia GOP to get away. But what we were told, well, no one, this is Brant Frost the Fourth, is who's being investigated by the Federal Exchange Commission. Is that who it is? Okay, because this is not my wheelhouse as far as trading. It's also not my wheelhouse in stealing $140 million. So none of this is in my wheelhouse at all, okay? That being said, moving right along, that's my mover. Everybody has that being said. Anyhow, Brant Frost IV, well, he's the only one that's under investigation. That's not fair. We can't say guilty. No one else has been accused of anything at all. Okay, now, so we're going to cover that. So this is yesterday. It went another step further with the state. So Georgia bars First Liberty executive, Brant Frost V now, this is the 5th, from selling securities, and they seek a criminal probe. It's gone criminal. A criminal probe. I don't think Brant Frost V will do well in jail. No. I don't think he will. Just say it. Just say it. Let me tell you something. This kid is so white. And I'm not going to be able to keep my composure on this. I just have to, because I can't just do this story with a straight face. These people are despicable. When you sit down with senior citizens, and I have, and they look at you and say, they stole my life savings, and I've sat at a table with them, I have nothing for these people. Nothing for what they've done. Now, moving right along, all right? This kid is so white that if he's walking down the street and you're walking down the street And you may have some Harley Davidson boots on, and you may have some earrings, and you may have some tattoos, and just saying. Just saying. He crosses the street. That's my opinion. My opinion. He crosses the street. Yep. Just saying. That's my opinion. He's not going to do well in jail. So I think there's going to be a lot of I think. He won't do well in jail. And these people have been so sheltered, the Childens, in the Frost family cult. I call it that. They have been so sheltered. Private schools, vacationing at Kennebunkport, so they could yell and say, I was up to the same place as the Bushes, or accidentally run into one of the elite establishment Republicans up there and get a picture with stolen money. Again, my opinion. Just what I think happened. These people are so sheltered. When this DA brings in seasoned veterans, Brant, I don't see you in jail. I can't see it, man. I can't see it. This dude's gonna sing like a canary. That's my opinion. He will sing like a canary. I mean, seriously. Let me move on. So, this has moved to another level. Number 26. Shortly after the firm's collapse, the investor emailed multiple First Liberty employees, including Frost V. Now, this is an investor who said one of the investors in First Liberty, in 6 months before the firm collapsed, the order said, shortly after the firm collapsed, the investor emailed multiple First Liberty employees, including Brant Frost V, to withdraw his investment of $550,000, but he and his spouse have not received the principal amount back according to the order. 2 of his family members also invested, all right? The family invested a total of $1.45 million. Now, these people hooked them in with Christianity. That may be wrong. With implying they are Christians. Praying with them, telling them we're Sunday school teachers. Oh, that's true. It also includes the allegation that an investor who lost $350 told investigators that Brant Frost V texted him on June 2025. Now listen to this, because this is what's going to tie together. This is going to tie together. This is when I read articles, I pick different things up. You got it? So this is what is getting ready to get tied together, and I'm going to do it for you here. No one else will. Told investors that Brant Frost V texted him on June 2025. Serenity now, serenity now. They participated in stealing the Georgia GOP convention, state convention. They participated. The guy here that is going to be brought up on charges or is turned over for possible criminal charges. We want to get that correct. Alleged. We have to practice saying alleged. Alleged. A guy that's alleged of being involved in a $140 million Ponzi scheme that could be facing and has been referred to for criminal charges participated in stealing our state convention. Oh yeah, the whole family. Well, I don't want to say the whole family. That's not fair. I got to be careful. Not fair. Some of the younger ones, maybe dad didn't participate, but there was a couple people named Frost in the middle of that, what I consider a crime. Sorry, trying to get this in a serious note. Text him in June of 2025, days before the company collapsed, just days, to solicit a recurring donation to an unnamed state lawmaker. Dun dun dun. To an unnamed state lawmaker who has been such a great ally and partner with us. Woo! So an investor who has donated through Brant Frost V to a state lawmaker, politician. Oh, they're all going to sing. They all going to sing. Going to be a damn choir when they get done. It's going to be a big one. It's going to be a big one. It's going to be a choir when they get done. Yes, because I'm going to tie this together. If this does not happen, I don't want to say I'll eat my hat. I can't stand when that happens. Now, let's look at a little more on the investigation. I'm going to play the report that took place yesterday. And where is that at? Do I have it? Here's the report yesterday from WSB, and then we'll come back and we'll start tying some things together. Listen closely, my friends. Hold on.
Now live, just into the alleged Georgia-based Ponzi scheme, First Liberty. Channel 2 consumer investigator Justin Gray broke this story on WSBTV.com this afternoon. He joins us now live, just the state capitol. Justin.
Yeah, Wendy, this is that official referral from the Secretary of State for potential criminal prosecution, and it focuses on the son in this father-son family business. That prominent Georgia Republican leader and fundraiser, Brant Frost V.
He does not need to answer to you.
That was what Brant Frost V's attorney told me in December. Now the Secretary of State is referring Frost to the Coweta County District Attorney for, quote, potential criminal prosecution, and ordering he pay a $500,000 fine for his role in First Liberty Building and Loan.
He told us he doesn't need to answer to me, but he does have to answer to you today.
And he's going to have to answer to the Coweta County prosecuting attorney.
In this emergency order, the Secretary of State's office claims Frost V, the former head of the Coweta County Republican Party, misled investors in what the SEC alleges was a $140 million Ponzi scheme targeting Christian conservatives, with paid promotion on conservative media, including the Eric Erickson show on WSB Radio. His father, Brant Frost IV, is the only person currently named in the federal SEC investigation, but the first action by the state is focused on his son, Frost V.
Well, he was very active in our findings of fact. You can read that he was encouraging people. He was promising these 16%, 13%, types of returns.
Did you not know what you were doing, or were you actively trying to commit a crime?
No comment.
We were there exclusively when Frost was deposed by state investigators. Frost V is now a newly licensed insurance broker, and just days before the SEC shut down First Liberty, Frost V also created a new business, Heartland Capital LLC. The Secretary of State is also now referring this case to the insurance commissioner to potentially have that insurance license revoked.
So this is the first referral for criminal prosecution. Do you think there will be others?
There will be more.
And Channel 2's Justin Gray back out live with us again from the state capitol. So, Justin, you've laid it out here. There's plenty that's happening, but what happens next in this case?
Well, Wendy, the Secretary of State set a 30-day limit to pay back that money. I also reached out to the district attorney in Coweta County. He says he is now asking for the full case file to start his investigation. And then within the past half hour, I heard from Brant Frost's attorney who tells me, quote, Mr. Frost denies the allegations. The Secretary of State did not provide him an opportunity to address his baseless accusations before rushing to judgment and the press. We will continue to defend Mr. Frost. Of course, we will continue to follow this, Wendy.
Yes, we are just getting started here. Justin Gray reporting live for us. Thank you.
So, wait a minute. When he asked, did you not know what you were doing? What are you, stupid? That would have been my next question. Did you not know what you were doing? What were you, stupid? Sorry if my mom's watching. I'm in big trouble. We were never allowed to say stupid growing up. So, all right. So let me give you a couple things that we just heard while watching that video. Okay. Let me get another one here. Let's get back to... Let me pull these up. Hold on just a minute. Bear with me a second. I will get it. There he is, the albino rhino. Oh, wait a minute. Let me go to this one here. Let me show you this one really. Oh, I'll show you that one in a minute. What number am I at? That's not what I want. Hold on just a minute. Sorry about that, folks. I'll get it here. Number 21. There it is. There he is walking. And number 23 here. As you can see, he has been ordered. Now, this is not just the criminal. Oh, he's going to sing. That boy's going to sing. I mean, he's going to sing like he's in a gospel music quartet. So you're going to sing some Southern gospel music, that poor boy is. And Edwin Brant Frost V to pay civil penalty in the amount of $500,000. Huh. Wow. Within 30 days. 30 days in a hole. So I don't know why I do stuff like that. Now, this is Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger. Let me tie this together. I can tie it together. Because I will show you earlier, remember, Brant Frost V called and said, hey, to this guy, he's got a communication, I need a donation. Maybe for the GRA PAC that I can funnel to a state lawmaker while he's using probably a First Liberty building and loan telephone. You can't make this up, okay? So that's Brad Raffensperger. I want to put this one up because I want to prepare you for what you're about to see here. And like, why do I have these three up? It's all coming together. Now, a couple things. $140 million Ponzi scheme. Remember what they do every single time they run a news article or something develops. They call the Frost family, the entire family, the father, the daughter, Katie, the mom, no matter who they're talking about, they'll always call them a predominant Republican leader, Brant Frost V, and fundraiser, right? Prominent Republican leader and fundraiser. They always tie that. That's why I beg them, anything that says Frost, get away. The DA is going to have a criminal referral, Coweta County, all right? They targeted Christian conservatives. They make sure they always let you know they targeted Christian conservatives. And what did Brad Raffensperger say? There will be more. Yes, there will be more. Now, this is the state investigation, not the federal yet. Oh, yes. Everything that happens here will go over and be reviewed by the feds. But there will be more. So, you have number 22, and this is where we have to have a little talk. This is Brad Raffensperger, Secretary of State. Right there he is. That's Brad Raffensperger, Secretary of State of Georgia. Now, on this hand, you don't like him. Maybe you don't like this guy at all on any hand, okay? But if you're sitting out there today and one thing you feel with this guy is wrong, are you telling me that this $140 million Ponzi scheme and what we are showing you as fact, it's okay because Brad Raffensperger's involved? I mean, you really have to ask yourself, because I do get this from a lot of people. Well, he's just going after them because they're tied to the GRA. And the GRA pushed the resolution to try to stop him from running. So let's deal with that, okay? Because, folks, that is not true. Now, Alex Johnson, and we'll get to him in just a minute, the president of the GRA. Which one do I want? There we go. Not that one. Right there. This says right here, because I was in the room when it happened, Georgia GOP convention delegates pass resolution to ban Raffensperger from qualifying as Republican. Now, did the GRA, when they put this resolution forward, and I'm going to have pushback saying, well, I don't think this was the GRA's resolution. It was written by one of the districts in the Republican Party. Okay, let's not argue. But did they know when they put this resolution forward trying to say Brad Raffensperger can't run for office as governor, as a Republican, what was going to develop down the road with the GRA PAC, okay, the Political Action Committee, where the money went into, First Liberty Building and Loan? What did they know was coming down the road? Or did they? Okay? But at the convention, and this is, I don't have a date on it, but I remember it very well, Georgia GOP convention delegates passed resolution to ban Raffensperger from qualifying as a Republican. It's a resolution. It's non-binding. Now, I just want to look you in the eye and tell you, stop going on social media and saying Brad Raffensperger cannot run as a Republican for governor. It's a resolution. Stop letting Alex Johnson, because I don't know if you know Alex Johnson, the president of the GRA or the National Republican Association, the NR, whatever they are. National Republican Assembly. That's who they are. National Republican Assembly. Alex Johnson. Anytime you talk to Alex Johnson, his response to you is, first, I'm smarter than you. Yes, that's and I'm going to write you a legal document right now as I talk to you, and you'll be clear when we're done that I'm smarter than you. That's Alex Johnson. I mean, he's not a bad guy. He can't help it. I'll leave it at that. But this is just a resolution, no matter what they tell you. So you got all the GRA members out there worked up. And I'm going to look you in the camera. I have a lot of friends from coast to coast of the state of Georgia. From North Carolina, Tennessee, South Carolina. From Alabama, Florida, wherever. From every border, the Atlantic Ocean. I have a lot of GRA friends wearing a badge that I think you're amazing patriots. But I've said this before. Some people get angry with me. The GRA has turned me down twice for membership, and they did it on purpose. I know why. I will start getting the messages saying, no, I was in the meeting. That's not true. I know why. I've been turned down twice for membership. Run. Run like the wind. I mean, I wouldn't be anywhere near that association. My friends in Northwest Georgia, you're all wearing the badge. You're great people. I would be nowhere near that organization. It doesn't change how I feel about you. The people over here in Gainesville, run. Now, Brad Raffensperger will not be stopped as a Republican. And I'll tell you why the GRA is pushing this every day and every day and every day. And here you go. You have two guys right here. And that is Alex Johnson is pushing it. This has everything to do with Brant Frost and what's going on. I'll tie it together. Now, the guy to the right is Nathaniel Darnell. He's the president of the GRA here in Georgia, Georgia Republican Assembly. The guy to the left, the little guy with the gavel, is Alex Johnson. He serves as the National Republican Assembly president. And they're trying to do everything they can to stop discovery. Because people are going to start being brought in. Because Brant Frost V, if I'm wrong, we'll see in time. But when they bring in the deal for Brant Frost V, right? When that seasoned detective, and we'll put it that way, comes in and says, Brant, you have a newborn baby at home, don't you? That's nice. That's nice. I think we can get you out before your baby graduates high school. I think we can do that. Maybe. At least, high school, somewhere around then. Brant Frost is not built for it. Now, moving right along. So this is Nathaniel Darnell, and this is Alex Johnson. So, as we go here, remember the guy on the right, stay focused. This is an interesting story we are putting together. Where's that? Number 27. Let me go back here. Sorry about that, folks. All right, so this is Nathaniel Darnell fired. He got fired by Bankers Life Securities. I told you this is all going to come to a head. Bankers Life Securities, if you don't think this is getting tied in and that the Coweta County District Attorney is not going to have this, and when Brad Raffensperger, hate him if you want, says there will be many more, okay? Nathaniel Darnell, I think they're getting ready to have their third child. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, these people may be, I don't know what they're thinking, but they could be possibly going to jail. I don't know that, but they could be. So here's Nathaniel Darnell, got fired by Bankers Life Securities for a Ponzi scheme allegations. However, how to recover your losses, and this tells you how. Now, the reason he got fired is he's a licensed broker or whatever they call it, okay? And he worked for this company called Bankers Life Security. And I've heard multiple, because there's an attorney handling the lawsuit, that when multiple accounts that he handled with Bankers Life, when the clients would come in, certain clients, he would say to them, hey, I know who's paying 13 to 18 or 15, whatever, % return. And I don't know exactly how it went down. Slid them a phone number. That's against the law. That's against the rules. That's against everything. So there's a lot of heat coming down. And he referred people directly to, now you got to remember, he's in the GRA. He's the GRA president to this day. Alex is the National Republican Assembly president. This guy was fired here for referring people to Brant Frost V, or First Liberty Building and Loan. Now this is where it starts getting a little more interesting, okay? Because I'm going to explain everything to you before we close the day. So you have what's called the GRA, right? And the GRA PAC. Now remember in the article we showed you that Brant Frost V was soliciting campaign donations from his investors that the company has defrauded out of big money to, I say, funnel, my words, funnel through a PAC to one of their candidates. So here you go. Ethics panel widens probe of GOP group tied to Frost family. That's the headline. I didn't do it. So this goes back to October 5th or October 1st, 2025. And I told you all along, this will grow and develop as the election season goes on. Yes. They will keep that word Republican prominent, fundraising. Then wait till they start releasing the lawmakers' names. The State Ethics Commission expanded its investigation of political contributions that stemmed from the collapsed First Liberty building and loan, casting a fresh spotlight on an ultra-conservative organization with close ties to the founder's son. In July, the commission charged the Georgia Republican Assembly PAC. Now, at this time, Brant Frost, when they had the PAC, the GRA PAC, right? Brant Frost, the fifth, got to be careful, Albino RINO, the really, really white young man, okay? Looks like he's real tall, would sing, no, okay. But that being said, remember, he controlled their PAC. Yes, the GRA. And at the same time, he is in control of the GRA PAC. Oh, don't go away, we're not finished. The same time he's in control of the GRA PAC, I think he's actively first vice chair or second vice chair of the GRA. But what they want to lead you to believe, and they tried to tell the State Ethics Commission, is we're not the same thing. So they want to lead you to believe that Brant Frost V said to the GRA, hey, I want to borrow your name, GRA, and I want to start a PAC. I will run it out of the same address as the GRA, the same office, I understand, as the GRA, registered as the GRA. But it'll be separate, but I will be running the PAC while I'm an officer with the GRA. And here's what we'll do. We'll bring money in over here, and then I will only give it as the GRA PAC to candidates that the GRA endorses, because they have these little phony dog and pony shows, and they're getting ready to have one. And you need to pay attention to everybody that shows up at the most recent coming up GRA dog and pony show. Seriously. So they have the dog and pony show, and you go up there, and you get crowned, and they give you this big thing like, you know, you just won something. And then if you're the right person holding the big check that says, oh, you get the big check, because Brant Frost V might be outside of the dog and pony show, and he gives you a check because you're GRA endorsed. But wait a minute, State Ethics Commission, we have nothing to do with each other. Okay? Why, in fact, we have separate bank accounts. Well, folks, I used to have a company several years ago, and in the same company, I had a payroll account, all right? I had about 3 different accounts that we handled. So that being said, moving right along. In July, the commission charged the Georgia Republican Assembly PAC, the PAC, with 61 violations of state campaign finance law, accusing it of illegally trying to sway elections. On Wednesday, investigators added the affiliated Georgia Republican Assembly. Now, this is why Alex Johnson every single day is putting out and telling you Brad Raffensperger can't run as a Republican in Georgia. He's trying to save their base. He's trying to fire up with red meat his badge-wearing GRA army out there. Don't give up on us. Brad's the bad guy. Really? Again, until you sit down and you see these senior citizens in their late 70s, husband and wife, and they look you in the eye and say, I lost my life savings, and that guy talked me out of it. I've done it, one-on-one. Hundreds of that. I think the people I sat down with was 350,000. That being said. Now, so there's 61 violations. Another thing is the GRA PAC didn't think they had to file any reports whatsoever. Now, I'm going to throw a bomb out, and it's going to come back because this is going to haunt me. I'm not drawing a legal affiliation, but this organization, the GRA PAC, don't get caught off maybe just in depositions. I don't know. I do not know. The Freedom Caucus, the Georgia State Freedom Caucus. Watch. Now, so they go to court. The GRA says, hey, wait a minute, we're not the same. So they go to court, right? Group tied to First Liberty accused of campaign finance violations. And this is Catherine Bernard. Now, in the upper echelon, I like Catherine Bernard. And I'll tell you why. Because anytime I've ever bumped into her, we don't have like a lot of times that I've ever bumped into her, I have some of the best debates with her on subjects, and I enjoy them. She does not assert herself that, hey, I'm smarter than you. I actually like her, all right? But there is Alex. So she is the one, she's an attorney, she's the one arguing their case. Georgia tied to First Liberty accused of campaign finance violations, all right? Charges against Georgia Republican Assembly and GRA PAC may be headed to trial. So, here you go. On December 4th of last year, two Republican groups linked to the defunct First Liberty Building and Loan, Now the article may not be accurate the way they write it, but they write it this way for a reason, because everybody's going to put this on a chain. Every link is going to get tied when they're done. Building and Loan likely sought to illegally influence Georgia elections, the State Ethics Commission charged Thursday. In a unanimous vote, okay, the commission found this is not Brad Raffensperger, the commission found probable cause that the Georgia Republican Assembly and the Georgia Republican Assembly Political Action Committee violated campaign laws dozens of times in recent years. Among other things, the commission found they failed to disclose more than $180,000 of campaign contributions. Now you got to remember, these campaign contributions they're not disclosing pretty much primarily come from what we call ill-gotten gains. Yes, ill-gotten gains. That's right. So, as 180,000 of campaign contributions as they rose to become dominant forces in state Republican politics. Now, every time they say that, I have begged the Republican Party. Again, Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones. Yes, I have. Get as far away. Now, I'm going to go into that further. Here we go. A little more on this. Ethics Commission attorney laid out evidence that showed, close ties between the groups. He showed they have common leadership, cited examples of the GRA raising money for Political Action Committee. He even cited examples of GRA officials directing the PAC to spend money on specific candidates. I just told you, they have their dog and pony shows, right? After the dog and pony show, the candidates they endorse, they go over to Brant Frost V, not any longer, and say, hey, cut this one a check for this one a check for this. Now, I'm going to get pushback. They're going to say, that's not exactly by the letter how it happened. You get it. I mean, stay away from their dog and pony shows, please, okay? He has even cited examples of the GRA officials directing the PAC to spend money on specific candidates. The PAC bylaws show it can only spend money on candidates the GRA endorsed and who were members of the GRA. So I'm not a member. I have offered my $35 or $45 twice. I've gone through their review. I've answered their questions and they've sent it back. I participated in one of their dog and pony shows when I ran for first vice chair of the Georgia Republican Party. But even if I would have went and won the endorsement, I can't get money. I'm not a member. So you got to be a member of the GRA. You have to be endorsed at the dog and pony show by the GRA. And then they can go in the next room. This is just the way I'm putting it, all right? So maybe it didn't happen this way. They can go to the next room and say to the guy wearing the little visor, that would be Brant Frost. He doesn't want the sun in his eyes. He's the albino RINO. And they can go in the next room and say, hey, cut this guy a check. It's in the bylaws, all right? This is operating like closed shop, was the attorney's argument. You're siding with them. You're siding with the man. You're siding with Brad. Hey, listen, when they came after me for no reason whatsoever, yes, no reason, and I battled them for no reason whatsoever, I didn't see any of you begging or fighting or trying to defend me. No, Brant Frost led the way. This POS led the way in helping campaign to remove me as first vice chair of the Georgia Republican Party, all the while that they were doing nefarious things. I'm not facing 10 to 20. I don't owe anybody $500,000 in a fine that has to be paid in 30 days. Okay. The board's finding of probable cause means the commission will continue the investigation. If the commission ultimately finds the GRA and the GRA PAC violated campaign finance laws, they could face substantial civil penalties. Now, let me paraphrase what I just said when I say that. Let me paraphrase this. And that's Nathaniel Darnell, don't forget. He's the president of the GRA. That is Alex Johnson, don't forget. All right? He's the president of the National Republican Assembly. And don't forget, this is the albino RINO and the chair of the Georgia Republican Party, who at the time this was going on was a member of the GRA. Yes, a member of the GRA, and very close to the Frost family. Just saying, all right, as a state senator. Now, boom, moving right along. Keep in mind, what actually happened was they're going to open all the books. They tied the two organizations together. That's why they're fighting it in tooth and nail. That's why they keep telling you Brad Raffensperger can't run as a Republican for governor, and he will. Like it or not, he will. All right? Don't believe their BS anymore. The books are going to be opened on both sides. People are going to be brought in. There's going to be more. Brant Frost V is going to sing. He's going to give a list of lawmakers. Brant Frost V is going to sing like a canary, is my opinion, okay? I mean, if I was, now let me just say this, I'll say this, okay? If I was, anybody can give their life to Christ at any given time, ask for forgiveness of their sins, and make an atonement to, change their life and turn over a new leaf and start over. I give that to anybody. That's not me. When I say that's not me to give, that's out there. That's out there. That's in the good book. That's called the Bible, the Bible. That's a book for me. That's out there, okay? But if you noticed, now the Father, I understand the Father, why he made his apology plea when it went down. He gave this. If you notice, the albino RINO still has arrogance. Still has arrogance. Okay? And we don't know who's paying his attorney. Or if this is going to be a court. We don't know. Where's this money coming from? Now, moving into the next phase of this, when they actually bring the guy into the DA's office, all right, his arrogance is going to end. Oh, trust me. He's going to come up against it. If you don't know the albino RINO there, he is arrogant as can be. And his arrogance will end. It's a promise it will end. It's coming to a halt, right? So, moving along, when he gets in there, it'll change. But if I was him, and I had a new baby, a new wife, he's a young guy, apologize to the people, sing, make a deal. Go in there and make a deal. Make a deal. Now, maybe he's no rat. I don't know. Maybe he's no rat. I'm no rat. Maybe he's no rat. Maybe he's a tough guy. Maybe he does. Just saying. It's a coming. Now, so, what do I have left here? Because this thing is convoluted as can be, and it's tied together. It is tied together. So, before we move on, what number is this? This is Nathaniel. They're at Brant's 5th wedding. That's the albino and RINO in the middle, Brant 5th, and that's the dad, Brant 4th. Brant 4th we're not going to get into right now, but if you don't want Brad Raffensperger to run as a Republican in Georgia, you have to call a Republican Party state committee meeting, all right? And quit falling for Alex Johnson's legal reasons why the Georgia GOP resolution is binding, because it's not. It's not binding at all. And the Georgia GOP is not going to, and Josh McCoon said he's not going to battle that in court, and that's where that would come from. So stop it. They would have to call a state committee meeting, put it on the ballot, give the people, give Brad Raffensperger a chance to make a statement, I guess, and they can vote on it. And if they vote it down and say he can't, then he can't. But anything else, executive committee or state committee, anything else, stop with the Brad can't run as a Republican. It's not going to happen. And stop with they're going to take over Fulton County elections. I'll get into that later. So I've asked over and over, get Republicans, please, get these people clear away. Get them away. And here is Katie Frost, okay? This is Katie Frost. Katie Frost is not a nice person. She's not. She's nasty as can be. She is. She's really nasty. She did have a job, all right? She did have a job. See, she is the first, okay? She was the Georgia General Assembly. In addition to her work on campaigns, she has worked in both chambers, the Georgia General Assembly, and served as the first executive director of the Georgia Freedom Caucus. Watch what happens here, I'm telling you, all right? Now, this is not a nice person. She's very nasty, all right? Now, she will go to a prayer meeting with others, but you're not invited. And if you would happen to be outside after they finish prayers, there's no telling what kind of nasty things she would say. She has said nasty stuff about me. She's gone on groups and said a lot of nasty stuff about me, okay? That's why I'll tell you, I do not subscribe to the Georgia Republican Party Christianity cult. I don't. Now, Katie Frost, right? She is so what I did is I went to AI. Because trust me, every friggin' network, okay, put this story up. Every network has run it. This is Katie Frost. This is the Albino RINO sister. Now, we understand she was community relations director for First Liberty Building and Loan. So we understand she had a job there, okay? But she is, when we asked, get all of them. If there's a Frost, get them away from the party. We got back, when I say we, you know who we are. We got back, well, they haven't done anything wrong, and until they do anything wrong, I mean, they're not guilty, it's not right. So I thought, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to see what AI says. Now, I'm not telling you that every time you put someone in AI, that it's 100% accurate. I'm not. But that's what people are doing. So what does AI say when you put Katie Frost in there? Katie Frost is the current chairwoman of the 3rd District of the Georgia Republican Party. A veteran Republican strategist, she has managed campaigns from municipal to presidential level, maintaining a strong winning record. Now, here's the key roles in her background. District chair. She serves as the Republican Party chair for the 3rd District. Coweta County, where all the crimes are going to the DA. Coweta County, where I'm just going to say, I won't be shocked if she's not deposed or brought in for questioning. Now, I'm not saying she's done anything, let me say this, but I do know she had a job at First Liberty. She is part of the Frost. She's part of the political machine. She's part of the GRA at the time. Boom. Includes Coweta County and Southwest Atlanta. State party involvement. She is a member of the Georgia Republican Party State Committee and Executive Committee. Political strategy. Frost has worked for both chambers. Boom. First executive director of the Freedom Caucus. Boom. This is AI. Put her in AI. Early career. She began her political work at 19. Okay, that's nice. Now, family and recent events. This is, boom. Family ties. She is the daughter of Brant Frost IV and the sister of Brant Frost V, both prominent figures in the Georgia GOP politics. Ponzi scheme allegations. In mid-2025, her father, Brant Frost IV, was accused by federal officials of running a $140 million Ponzi scheme through First Liberty Building and Loan. Now, this will get updated immediately after yesterday, and her brother will be in there. But that's what you get when you go to her with AI. So, okay, then her mom. What about her mom, Krista Frost? Mama Frost. Now, I made reference several times that I made reference several times that Mama Frost was making these $5,000 contributions out of the cookie jar because she was writing contributions. So someone was putting money in the cookie jar. She was writing political contributions. That's Krista Frost, their mother, the mother in the family. But I asked somebody, I said, what? And they said, hey, I don't think Krista knew anything that was happening. I really don't. I think she's innocent. Okay. But if you go to AI, all right, Krista Frost, this is the mother, a prominent figure in the Coweta County Republican Party, same county where her son, right, is being referred to the DA, and the mother of former chairman Brant Frost V, that's her son. This is AI. As of late 2025, she has been the central figure in local and state political controversies involving the family. Right at the top of AI, Krista Frost, the mom. Current roles and recent activity, Coweta County GOP leadership. She has served as the second vice chair of the party in Coweta County. Still today, she's second vice chair. She's on the state committee. State committee membership in late 2025, while other family members, that would be her son, resigned from various posts. Reports indicate she remained a member of the Georgia State Committee. Brant Frost, the fifth, the albino RINO, he resigned. Public positions, recent resignation from the Newman, and context of controversy. The Frost family's leadership has been heavily scrutinized following allegations and the lawsuit involving a $140 million Ponzi scheme. Her husband, Brant Frost V, founder of the company, is accused of misusing funds. Partly impact her son, the fifth, resigned chairman. Calls, this is on AI, calls for removal. High-ranked officials, including Georgia RNC, has called for her removal. Now that's AI. That's the mother. October of when this broke. We are February when this broke. It was in September of last year, 2025. We begged the Georgia GOP. Begged them. Clean house. Tell them all to go home. Take care of their personal issues. We wish them well. God bless. Okay? They got a lot to deal with. The last thing they need to be is on our party. They don't need to be tied to the state party in any way whatsoever. But Josh McCone, the chairman of the Georgia Republican Party, didn't think it was appropriate to ask Brant, his mother, or his sister to leave in any way whatsoever. It wasn't until Brant, something else came up with the GRA, that he said he asked him to resign. He didn't tell him, he didn't instruct it, or he accepted his resignation. More to come. I'm telling you now, they've got to get this. They've got to get this away from, have to get it away from Republicans now. Maybe Rick Jackson can do something about it. Just say it. Now today, Trump is over there, as we speak, in Rome, Georgia. Right here is his endorsed candidate. Good morning. We're 19 days away of the special election to replace Marjorie Taylor Greene. This is Clay Fuller, will be with Trump all day, his endorsed candidate. And then we have this guy here. This is the real fear. What if a Democrat would get, right there, Sean Harris elected in that district? So let me see what I'm going to close with. I've got so much more to do today. I've got to get into Greg Dolezal, the Weasel, Greg the Weasel Dolezal, who is, let's see, right there he is with his running mate. That's Batman and Robin. That's Batman and Robin. And there's Robin, little Gregory. Gee willikers, Batman. There's a lot going on. Gee, you know what? I think he should open all those videos in Fulton County where he's all of a sudden become aware of the corruption there with his eyes wide open. I think he should open all of them and wear his little Robin costume and say, gee willikers, I did not know there was this much corruption in Fulton County. Gee willikers, Batman. I bet he calls Burt Jones 5 times a day. Gee willikers, Batman. I don't know why I do things, so do not push me for an answer. So, let's see, what else do I have? I got to make sure I don't. So let me say this before I close. Stay with me. Don't go nowhere. This is, because I wrote this down. Now, this guy got arrested. And I wrote this down. And let me see what I have here. Sorry about that. Yes, I'm getting a haircut tomorrow. I will take it. I'm calling for an appointment. I just got a text message. I'm getting a haircut tomorrow. It's past time for those of you that watch. So this guy's got arrested. You know, if you're in this country illegally, you shouldn't be here illegally. Okay? But we're spending an enormous amount of money going around, okay, rounding people up, getting them out of here, the illegals, throwing them out of the country. But if you're on the Epstein list and you raped a 16-year-old girl, but you're in politics, or you're a corporate CEO, or you're just on another level, I guess I'm not understanding this to save my life, okay? Not understanding it. I'm not understanding why in the state of Georgia we're wasting 1 second under the Golden Dome to decide if we want lemon pepper to be our state wing flavor. Lemon pepper, all right? So, and last but not least, I brought this up yesterday. This is one of my favorites. We're going to talk about some of this stuff tomorrow. And let's create a migrant crisis to divide society and then introduce digital ID as a solution. Got it, boss. Straight from the swamp lizards in D.C. All right, I'm your host, BKP. You're watching BKP Politics. VoiceOfRuralAmerica.com. A nugget of truth, right? Send me messages, please. Tell me how you feel, what you think, what you don't understand, what you do understand. News tips, right? I wish the guy would have asked Brant Frost V, hey, did you know what you were doing? What, were you stupid? Come on. I'm sorry. That was wrong. Okay? I apologize if I offended any Christians today. I really do. Because I really, when I think I might offend somebody, it doesn't matter to me. But I'm not making light of Christianity. I'm really not. But if you're in Georgia and you understand where I'm coming from and you've seen what they do, you know, they can go on social media and just call me the ugliest things. And then put up in their very next post what time they're meeting for their Republican bad people prayer meeting. Right? Yeah, trust me, okay? So, but actually, no Christians were harmed during this broadcast. Trump is over there. We'll focus on that tomorrow, I promise. And let's go ahead. I want to give you, I think you want this one more time. Let's do this one because it was actually, I think everybody enjoyed this one. Where's it at? Hold on, I got it here. That's it. I'll see you tomorrow. Substack, Vora, voiceofruralamerica.com. Substack, Vora, Voice of Rural America, Rumble, X, YouTube, and Facebook. I want to hear this myself. I didn't hear it earlier. So,
They call you with a smile, invest for a short while. The pitch is smooth as silk, they say, when they sell you the 18% payday. They tell you it's not yet your time, but with that money you'll climb the political vine. And before you know it, you're drinking mimosas with the bunch, returning favors over a Frost Sunday brunch. The first card's flipped, she's real shady. BKP, tell us about Frosty Katie. The next card's flipped, the loans he grants. BKP, tell us about Frosty Baby Brant. The next card's flipped, brings more drama. BKP, tell us about Frosty Mama. The last card's flipped, he'll pay the cost. BKP, tell us all about Papa Frost.
What happens in Georgia gets revealed one by one as the facts are unsealed. From the pit comes what they don't want you to see, when the daily nugget of truth is dropped with your host BKP.